The imperial system sucks. Weights and measures are relevant in our everyday lives. From cooking, driving, browsing, at things online we don't need on Amazon, the system which we use to measure weights and lengths is extremely prevalent and important. As a person who lives life just like you, I found that the imperial system of inches and pounds and gallons and quarts can be really confusing. And the metric system is far better and far easier to use than any other form of measurement system we have. The reasons why are as follows. First off, every other country is doing it. It's a lot easier to learn, and it's a lot easier to convert other than, inches to feet to yards, just to these words that sound made up. The United States is the only country still fully using the standard weights and measure system or the imperial system. If actually our official government recognized measurement system is actually metric, but the generally used one, as far as people actually talking in terms of measurements and weights, is actually still the imperial system, as you know. Countries that we trade with use the metric system. They sell us things in metric tons. They sell us things in liters. They sell us things in milliliters and centimeters and meters and milliliters and just everything else. They sell everything in the metric system, and that's what we buy in the metric system. So that would make trade easier, first of all, between countries to if the U.S. was to fully adopt the metric system and fully use the metric system. Number 3, the system is far easier to learn. I'm sure in elementary school you probably remember taking 2 weeks or maybe even longer to fully learn the standard system. I know I was still learning measurements in the 4th grade. We learned about the gallon kingdom and all that, and how a gallon and 4 quarts, and then it goes down all the way to cups. Well, the metric system is way simpler, because if you can count to 10 and divide by 10 and multiply by 10, you've already learned the basics of all conversions and pretty much anything you need to ever know about the metric system is in tens. And that works for measurements, like lengths of things. That works for volume of things, like liters, milliliters, even just, and also like weights of things. So kilograms, that's the gram system. We haven't talked about that yet. But grams are far easier to use because you just multiply by 10 and 100 depending on the prefix. So where it would take you 2 weeks and multiple grades to fully learn something, you could reduce it down to 2 weeks in school and fully have kids know the system. And that would probably most likely progress learning, and they could spend that saved week or 2 weeks on other things and eventually make kids be able to know more coming out of the lesser grades. The metric system is more accurate. Rather than relying on fractions that are convoluted and you can't really think about in your head and visualize, the metric system is all in tenths. So I'm sure if you've seen a ruler, you've seen the centimeter side of your ruler, and it has the 10 divisions, which are millimeters, and then it's really easy to find because it's all down to the decimal. You don't have to worry about 6/16 or 3/32 of an inch. You can just see it and be like, okay, that's how long that is, and that's what I need to do. This allows a more accurate and repeatable measurement. I'm in the science department over at Bolin, and we never use any kind of standard system at all. It's always milliliters because it's accurate. Because rather than having a factor of 4, 8, 16, 32, 64, the factor of 10 is much easier to convert in your head and on paper as well. And by saying that it's more accurate and easier to convert, it's therefore easier to learn, which supports my second point about it being easier to learn. The metric system provides a far better and more efficient system for measurement acquisition and conversion as opposed to the imperial or standard system. The U.S. is the only holdout in this whole world so far using the metric system. It's way easier for kids to learn, and it's way more accurate for people to actually use in their daily lives. So maybe if you want to see the change in the world, you could actually, and make a positive change, you could maybe start talking in metric system, or just thinking of things in metric, saying that's about an inch, maybe that's 2 centimeters. And hopefully we can make the world a better place in terms of measurement and efficiency. Thank you.